Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Welcome to First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. The next big thing we're going to be talking about weather-wise, well, this hot weather and how long it's going to last. I know today we tied a record in Tuscaloosa. 101 was the record high set back in 1964, and we had similar temperatures out there. Some of the hottest weather, in fact, you go back to 2019, but this is summer in Alabama, and every now and then we do enter these heat waves. But we did have another heat advisory for today. Now that's expired, but here's what you need to know as we go to our First Alert weather headlines. We're going to be dealing with more near record heat levels over the next couple of days. We may see more heat advisories, which are based on the heat index. When we see that at a 105, you'll see those issued. Isolated afternoon storms, more storms on the way for next week. And here's a look at the records for today. And again, Tuscaloosa, we did reach 101. It's official, so we tied a record. We weren't too far off in Birmingham and Anniston. You can see those records there, one in Birmingham all the way back to 1930. And then tomorrow, how did the temperatures set up? Well, there's a good chance in Tuscaloosa we could hit 100 again tomorrow, but the record a little bit higher, 102 set in 2012. So I don't know if we'll quite reach the record, but again, very close. So looking at the current temperatures, I mentioned the heat advisory. It's expired, but still perfect weather to be inside. We still have some dangerous heat levels around the area, and the bottom line in a setup like this, the best time of day to get out there for outdoor activities, first part of the day during the morning hours. We want to get out there, walk the pup early. 94 Gadsden, 98 in Tuscaloosa, 95 in Birmingham. And as we look at where it's raining right now, you can see most of the area, well, it's been dry. Looks like a couple of isolated showers right there showing up perhaps around Birmingham, but there is one little storm that popped up not far from Florence. It's drifting to the south. If that holds together, and typically with something like this, these showers and storms, they pop up and dissipate. They don't really have a long life cycle. So if this does hold together, it may bring a little bit of rain into far northern Winston County. Otherwise, I expect that to kind of weaken there with time rather quickly as it moves on to the south. We have a high pressure ridge over the state of Alabama, classic summertime ridge. When we have that, you got a lot of warmer air aloft, so you have a lot of sinking air subsidence, so you end up with hotter weather, drier weather, and also fewer showers and storms. It basically puts a lid on the atmosphere so the showers and storms just can't get going during the afternoon. Now that setup's going to change a little bit over the next few days. We're going to talk about that coming up. Currently, what does it feel like? Well, it feels like 102 in Fayette, 102 in Tuscaloosa. So even though it may not feel like 105, it certainly feels hot enough. And the air conditioner is going to work overtime tonight. As we look at that hourly forecast, you can see through 8, 9 o'clock this evening, temperatures, as you can see, in the 80s, winds out of the west-northwest direction, but a very, very low chance for a shower or two as we go into tonight. Checking out the hourly forecast. But we'll have more on the 7-day forecast coming up. Here's what's on the way as we continue here on First Alert Weather Extra. We're going to be talking about lightning, and that's a topic this week. It is Lightning Awareness Week, so we're going to have more on lightning awareness. We're going to talk about lightning, white lightning of Alabama, another lightning, a different type, higher rain chances later this week, and we go beyond the 7-day forecast as we continue. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra. The next big thing gives you a heads up days ahead of the next big storm system. The next 24 gives you the most accurate and updated look at tomorrow. And the next 60 gives you a 60-minute advantage against Mother Nature. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away, this is why we First Alert.
When we declare First Alert Weather Day, it's all hands on deck. We're on your side and in your hand with the First Alert Weather app. While Wes and the rest of the team track changes moment to moment, the app keeps you prepared and safe with video and alerts for your neighborhood. And if the power goes out, no worries, you can stream us anywhere. It's easy and it's always on. Stay ahead of Alabama weather. Just scan and tap and have the First Alert Weather app. This is why we First Alert.
On Good Day Alabama, we treat severe weather with the highest priority. It's more than just meteorologists. Everyone plays a part. Having more reporters in more places takes you beyond the First Alert, showing you the impact that we see on radar. We're live in your neighborhood when you need us, on air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
Our lives revolve around planning for what's next, like the next ball game.
One hot dog with ketchup? It's the same with weather. That's why we're on your side with the next big thing, the next 60 and the next 24. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away.
This is why we first alert. Who puts ketchup on a hot dog?
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
Well, it's been called the underrated killer, lightning. It's one of those things. We can track tornadoes, we can track hurricanes, but when a storm pops up, you never know where lightning is about to strike. That's why we often say when thunder roars, you go indoors. It is Lightning Safety Awareness Week. We see a lot of storms pop up often during the afternoon hours during the summer months. Meteorologist Matt Daniel has this report explaining a bit of lightning safety and what you need to know.
All right, did you know this week is Lightning Safety Awareness Week? Well, it is across the nation. So let's talk a little bit about lightning. What is it? Let's talk all about it, shall we? And we'll get right to it. First of all, lightning can be very fatal, obviously. You want to avoid being outside at all times if you hear rumbles of thunder or if you see lightning in the distance. And here's a graph from the National Weather Service from NOAA, and you can see out of all the summer months, we see the highest number of people getting struck during the summer, because that's when people want to be outside, whether you're at the pool, at the beach. And notice it really spikes in July. So, and then it starts to drop off as we go into the cooler months. So usually this is the time where we see the most lightning, and it's mostly heat activated. It gets really hot in the summer months and it charges any storm that can develop, and you get a lot of frequent lightning. So here's a look at the lightning fatalities over the past 10 years or so, and notice we've had 11 in 2021. And the most we've seen was in 2016. Now, I will note in the light blue is females, and in the darker blue it's males. And normally males get struck more than females. Why is that? They're taller, pretty much in most instances, and lightning strikes the tallest objects. So if you're in an open field and there's nothing around you, you are the tallest object. So you always want to try to go indoors if possible. So how does lightning form? Well, first of all, you have to have a thunderstorm. Hot air rises, condenses, and you get clouds. Ice particles and water droplets, well, they collide into that cloud, and you start getting charged particles, positives and negative charges, as those things start to collide within each other. So usually you'll see the positive charges at the top of the clouds. At the bottoms of the clouds, you have negative charges, and the ground also has some positive charges. So whenever you get these positive, negative charges, you'll get lightning to form. And you can get different types of lightning. You can get cloud-to-cloud lightning, where you get the negatives and positives meet up, and then sometimes you'll have cloud-to-ground lightning, and obviously that's the most dangerous ones when you get positive strikes, and that could strike trees. And we've seen instances where you'll have house fires because lightning strikes as well. So the positive strikes can usually occur from the storm anvil, and that's usually the most deadly strike. So if you're seeing us on TV and we're showing you a lightning counter and it shows you positive strikes, those are the more dangerous ones. Just want to give you that first alert. So here's more about the lightning. Lightning can strike 10 miles away from a storm. So if you've ever been to a baseball game, a football game, and it's not raining yet, you might see some dark clouds in the distance, but if there's lightning within 10 miles of the stadium, they're going to delay the game. They're going to at least postpone it until the storms move away and lightning's no longer around within a 10-mile radius of that area. So when that happens, remember, if you see lightning, hear thunder, when thunder roars, go indoors. A little bit more about lightning. Lightning's actually hotter than the surface of the sun. If you want to get an idea, that's 50,000 degrees. So I know we complain about the 100-degree heat, but obviously it isn't 50,000 degrees, so that is extremely hot. And the other things to talk about when it comes to lightning safety, electrical currents can travel easily through water and metal. So you want to stay away from water, anything that's wet, metal objects such as fences or poles. Obviously inside a home is where you want to go, or maybe inside a vehicle. You just don't want to touch anything if you can, but just to give you an idea. And the other thing, if you're out and about in an open field, you want to stay away because once again, as I was mentioning earlier, lightning likes to strike the tallest objects. So we don't want to stay underneath the tree because guess what? A tree is a tall object. So when thunder roars, go indoors. That's the best advice as you can because lightning, dangerous. It's pretty to see, but it is dangerous. And finally, one last thing to talk about lightning, heat lightning. You may have heard that term. There's really no such thing as heat lightning. What you're seeing is just storms in the distance at night. And you might see the lightning in the distance. That's just from a distant thunderstorm. It's not just triggered due to heat. So you may have heard that term before. It's just a distant thunderstorm. That's all I've got for you. Just be careful. Remember, when thunder roars, go indoors.
Thanks a lot there, Matt. And as you saw there, 10 miles away from the storm, if you hear thunder, that's why we say go indoors. And a lot of times during the summer, these storms are scattered. You may not see lightning out there. And many times, you know, it's raining with the sun shining. And a lot of times you may not see the actual lightning, but you can certainly hear the thunder out there. So a great way to stay alert as we enter that stormy time of the year. And we'll be talking about our rain chances coming up in a few moments. But there are different kinds of lightning created by nature and some that are man-made. And Fred Hunter recently met a local legend in the area who knows something about a little white lightning in this Absolutely Alabama report.
All right, for another Absolutely Alabama Weather Extra, we're here today with a man that I guess could be classified as something of a local legend. He and his family, Billy Ray Awesome Dawson. Billy Ray makes spirits for a living. Billy Ray, just tell me about the spirits that you are making up here in Colbert County.
We're making a moonshine. We're actually making two moonshines, a corn and a rye. And then after we make the moonshine, we put it in a number 4 charred white oak barrel and age. And in the process, it adds a caramel vanilla flavor to the moonshine.
And you said, and this surprised me, weather has something to do with making moonshine.
Weather has a lot to do with making moonchar, Alabama moonchar, and you can only get Alabama moonchar in Alabama. And the reason for it is the water that it's made from is very important, and the weather, when you put this in a white oak barrel, the weather expands or contracts the barrel, and in that process, that's when it starts releasing the caramel vanilla flavor. So your ambient temperature is very important in the conditioning of Alabama moonshine.
And the other thing is you got to be part geographer to do this because you got to have good water, and there are natural filters here that grow out of the mountains in North Alabama.
In North Alabama, it is probably the best place that I know of. I've been many places, and it is the best place to find the raw material of which is your water to start with.
And that's because it filters through the mountain.
Because of the mountain minerals, and two, it is a sand and limestone mixture of I guess formations around, and that water, that when it filters through that, it makes it not only gives it a flavor, but it also filters it.
Jack Daniels said to make good whiskey, you got to have good water.
You got to have good water. Simple as that.
There you go. There's a lot that goes into
Alabama moonchar.
Made with love,
grace, and pride.
There you go. It is absolutely Alabama.
I'd say so. And coming up, and by the way, a big shout out to Fred there, Colbert County. Fred knows how to say Colbert County. Hey, coming up, we're going to show you the 7-day forecast. We go beyond the 7-day forecast as we check in with meteorologist Jill Gilardi as we continue right here on First Alert Weather Extra. Stay with us.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we know the news that matters the most to you is the news that hits closest to home.
And we know that to tell the best story means going to where the story is. That's why having more reporters in more places is so essential.
Giving you more local stories that impact your family, your school, and your safety.
On air, online, and on the app.
That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I hear from people all the time with questions about healthcare, their insurance, and the safety of certain treatments. I'm Morgan Hightower, and I investigate these stories because if I were being taken advantage of, or if my family couldn't get the help they needed, I would want to know how to take action. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get pinpoint locations down to your street level on the First Alert Weather app. You can download by searching WBRC in your app store. That's accuracy you can plan on.
I hear from people all the time having problems with their landlord or worry about being ripped off by a bad business. I'm Josh Gann, and I investigate stories like these because if I had questions about protecting my finances or how to save more money, I would want the best advice available. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Twitter. Search at WBRC News.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Facebook. Search at WBRC News.
Welcome back. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt with you as we look at this 7-day forecast. Temperature-wise, we're going to be close to record highs over the next few days. You can see the upper 90s there this weekend, a few isolated afternoon showers and storms, but the rain chances will start to go up next week because we see some indications there that this high pressure that's been keeping us very hot and rain-free is going to start to weaken a little bit. Overnight lows in the 70s. Take advantage of the mornings, and by the way, it's the best time to water the yard in the mornings. Try to get out there early in the day. At night, you know, sometimes when you water during the night, that makes the yard a little bit more prone to lawn disease. So if you can get out there early and water, it's always the best time. And of course, in the middle of the day, a lot of the rain or a lot of the water that you place on the yard is going to quickly evaporate. But temperature-wise, right now we're at 95 in Birmingham and Anniston. We're at 98 in Tuscaloosa, 99 in Aliceville. There was a couple of showers that were showing up on the radar, a couple very tiny showers around Bibb County, but they've since dissipated. There's one other area here to the north around places like Russellville, and that's moving to the south. If this holds together, this could reach us north of Double Springs, perhaps around the Haleyville area, places like Addison. So just giving you the first alert. Most areas staying dry. Across the country, one of the big stories, obviously this hot weather pattern that we've been in across the region. You can see at this time that heat also expands back into Texas there. Of course, areas where you would expect it to typically be hot. You can see across the southwest, but just want to kind of show you what's happening across the nation. There's some cooler air across New England if you are going to be traveling. Quite a bit of stormy weather dropping down towards the mid-Atlantic region. And right now we're underneath this high pressure ridge, and typical summertime setup. When you have this ridge of high pressure overhead, it really suppresses the storm growth, storm development, and puts what we call a cap on the atmosphere. And that's why we're not seeing a lot of rainfall out there today, even though it's so hot and you think, well, surely something's going to pop up this afternoon. We just don't see a lot. But once the core of this high pressure ridge starts to slide a bit further west over the next couple of days and weakens just a bit, that's going to allow for the atmosphere to be a little bit more prone to some of those storms firing up during the afternoon. They'd still be kind of isolated, hit or miss, but rather short-lived. Typically what we see this time of the year, we call them pulse thunderstorms. They'll pulse up, they won't last long, they'll quickly collapse, but some of us will get a little bit of rain out of this, and most of the active storm track typically follows this axis around this high pressure ridge. That's why we're tracking a lot of storms to the north and east, kind of riding around this heat bubble that's over us across the southeast. You can see the storms happening here. Places like West Virginia, there's severe thunderstorm watch, and some active weather dropping south towards D.C. and Richmond and Charlottesville area. So if you have a flight, you have travel plans, be expecting some of those storm impacts. Quite a few severe thunderstorm warnings, in fact, just pushing south through Pittsburgh. Look at that, and that's moving down through Parkersburg. I know we have a lot of folks that watch us on our streaming channels across the country, and you see over towards Lexington dealing with some storms there tracking to the south. So the next 24 hours for us us here at home in the Birmingham area. You can see the chance of rain very localized, very isolated. There's 7 o'clock and showing a couple of pop-ups to the north. You can see one little shower there north of Hamilton. If that holds together, that one that we're tracking, that may reach us there in Marion or Winston counties. But overnight tonight, you get the picture here. Not much relief later on tonight, so that AC is going to be working overtime during the overnight hours, and more of what we experienced yesterday, today, well, tomorrow, you can expect those afternoon temperatures to once again be quite toasty as highs get into the triple-digit range again, especially in areas back to the west. You can see 3 o'clock, and that shows a couple of showers and storms out there as we kept that rain chance right there around 30% for a few pop-ups that will actually continue into the evening hours with it being so warm for tomorrow night. Next week, here's what's on the way. Actually, we're going to start at Sunday. You can see another hot day this weekend. We'll have highs back in the 90s, but we are going to be tracking a front that moves in from the north as this core of this hotter weather starts to slide a bit further to the west direction. That's going to give way to a boundary to move in, and that's going to be kind of a focal point. We'll see more afternoon showers and storms possible with this. You know, typically late June into July, we don't see a lot of these fronts make it through here, but it is a system that could bring a little bit of rain. We're thinking Monday and Tuesday that will be just enough to bring a little bit more widespread coverage. So scattered showers and storms, better chance early next week. And also notice the temperatures there. I was noticing it not quite as hot. We actually backed off on the heat levels, low 90s as opposed to upper 90s for the first half of next week. So a little bit of heat relief, not much, but a little bit of heat relief on the way as we look at next week. Again, looking at those temperatures there, Sunday shows 97 for Birmingham, and then you can see Tuesday shows 84. So again, we get some rain. That's certainly going to knock down the temperature in several areas, but overall in general, the average highs will back off a little bit. It looks like through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, and a chance for a few isolated showers and storms. And bring in meteorologist Jill Gilardi. Big shout out, Jill, for holding down the fort. I know I've been out for a few days, but thankfully I'm back and the AC's working here in the Weather Center.
Yeah, thankful for the little things, that's for sure, especially with this heat that doesn't want to seem to give up, Wes. I mean, looking beyond the 7-day, we're talking 8 to 14 days out. The projection is for about a 50% chance for above normal temperatures to continue. So normal high 89, we could be certainly rising above that, and there's indication that there's a pretty good chance of it. Now, as we were looking at the data yesterday, there was hints at maybe a couple cool downs here and there, but overall trending above normal. So you can see the normal line, and you can see the projected temperatures at or slightly above that is right now the forecast as we look beyond the 7-day. Now, what about precipitation? Now, when we were showing you this yesterday, and I mentioned, you know, we'll have to see if this trend continues, it wanted to spit out a lot more. This is the GFS model. It does tend to go a lot farther out than the European. It was spitting out rain and storm chances for the 4th of July in and around that weekend. So let's see what's happening today. And as we go towards the 2nd, well, now it's showing an indication maybe a ridge in place. So again, things are changing. I don't want to say necessarily we're going to be dry or leaning one way or the other just yet. We have to, again, look at this when we look long range. Let's see if we see some consistency. So right now, it doesn't look as wet as what it projected yesterday, but there's the 3rd, and then as we get into the 4th, there could be some of Mother Nature's fireworks. Maybe that dip in the jet stream brings down that opportunity for more rain and storms. So we'll be watching that, of course, very closely. A lot of fireworks displays happening. We have a lot of things getting going even as early as this weekend. So we'll be watching in the long range to see if we get this dip in the jet stream, because that would mean maybe a better opportunity for us to see more fronts and even more rain opportunities. Now, the Climate Prediction Center says right now, we're probably going to be trending a little bit below average, but again, you're talking about a 30% chance here, so we'll have to see what happens. But something we're definitely watching in the long term, because I know we're all trying to figure out our plans as we look ahead to the 4th of July. Wes?
All right, Jill, you know, I was looking at some weather data a while back, and I was always surprised how many fronts actually do make it into our area during the month of July, even though it's not too often you see something like that. But we'll be watching the long-range data and watching what happens here with those rain chances. We can certainly use wet weather. It doesn't take long to get into the dry weather issues when you see these hot, dry days adding up here in the summer months in Alabama. We're going to check in. You know, the lake sounds like a good idea if you're heading out to enjoy some time on the water. I'm going to check in with Mickey Ferguson for a report right after this.
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too, giving you more ways to get caught up with everything happening where you live. Plus, exclusive videos from your First Alert weather team. It's easy to use and it's free. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
You've got enough to worry about every day. That's why the First Alert weather team is on your side, so you can plan with confidence and take the worry out of weather. With exclusive First Alert AccuTrack, we pinpoint storms before they arrive. And with Weather Every 6, you are always informed. Alabama's weather changes fast, but we're working even faster, updating and alerting you first. We know your plans are important. This is why we First Alert.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we're on your side, trying to get you where you're going safely. First Alert Traffic updates you on slowdowns and gives you alternate routes. Having more reporters covering the roads you drive on gives you even more info to help you know more about why it happened and when it will be cleared. On air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I get calls and emails all the time from people wanting to know how cities, counties, and the state are spending their tax dollars. I'm Jennifer Horton, and I investigate how your tax dollars are being used because I don't want your money or mine wasted or fraudulently spent by politicians in power. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, following the paper trail, asking the tough questions, and giving you the facts. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
All right, let's take a look at our lake levels. Almost everybody's at full pool out there right now. As far as our lake forecasts are concerned, Smith Lake is up at 94 degrees for Thursday and Friday. A little bit warmer there at Lay Lake at 97 tomorrow, 96 on Friday. Lots of sunshine out there, upper 90s. This is at Lake Martin down there just south of Montgomery. And you can see Logan Martin, mid 90 degree heat. That's where my mom and dad hang out. So take a splash, mom and dad. Upper 90s for Neely Henry there along Gadsden and South Side, places like that. At Weiss Lake, 97 to 98 degrees over the next couple of days. So, you know, take a jump in the lake if you start to get hot. There's a lookout live from Gulf Shores, Alabama as of this morning. We were seeing 88 degrees early on this morning, but look at this. They've got the yellow flags flying, which the surf is not quite as dangerous as it's been earlier on this season. So we have a low rip current for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The temperatures at the Gulf Coast actually cooler than they are here. We're looking at upper 90s, but they're looking at mid 90 degree heat. For Thursday, Friday, we get into the weekend, low 90 degree readings. There is a chance of showers, scattered showers there Saturday and Sunday, but a lot of times the sea breeze will blow that about a mile inland, unless of course it's coming from the Gulf, but this will not be, so it might make it okay for you down there at the beaches, and then some scattered showers going into next week. Now, if the beaches are not for you and you want to head to the mountains, your Smoky Mountain forecast shows highs in the low 90s. We do have scattered showers again for this weekend and a few spotty showers going into next week. It does cool off into the 80s next week, so have a good time. Now, if you're going to the lakes, the rivers, the mountains, the beaches, you've got weather on the go. Take us with you, and we can update your forecast each and every day. And while you're there, send us a picture. We can feature those pics right here on Weather Extra.
Yeah, Mickey, and we love those weather photos. This is one from Sabrina at Lake Wadawi. See a beautiful heron coming in for a landing there, and that was taken earlier, so you get some of that steam fog there off the water. But what a beautiful photo, and we love to share those photos with you that we gather from around the state of Alabama. So if you haven't done so already, go to your app store. It's free. Download our First Alert weather app. Just search WBRC in your app store. That thing is a great tool, especially in the summer, because you get lightning alerts and precipitation alerts, trying to get some work done outside, and gives you a good idea of where those storms are located. And speaking of storms, we may have a couple of pop-ups here over the next couple of days. Notice tomorrow we have a 30% chance for a shower or two in the afternoon. 97 degrees. Friday looks mainly dry again. Bottom line here, you'll need to water next several days through Saturday and Sunday. Only a 20% chance there Saturday for a few afternoon pop-ups. If you have lake plans, as Mickey noted this weekend, rain chances very limited. Very hot. Take it easy out there. Try to get an early start. Stay well hydrated. You know the drill. Make sure you take frequent breaks, and even in the shade, it's tough to stay cool in this kind of heat. Next week we'll see maybe a little bit of a break in those temperatures there by Monday and Tuesday. But I'll have more on the 7-day forecast. We'll have radar updates and show you what we're tracking as we continue tonight on WBRC Fox 6 News. Join us at 9, 9:30, and 10. Have a great evening.